Hola, people. Good morning. Well, it's still morning here. It's 10:59 a.m. here in Northern California, December 18th, 2022. As we are recording this, give me a moment. Of course, I'm having technical difficulties. This is going to be a week ahead, a weekly overview reading, and it's in honor of my friend. I do this every week, every Sunday for my patrons, but I do this publicly because my friend Elisa Soul Kisses, she sponsors this when she has her sale, her event. So I include everybody. It's kind of her way of gifting back to everyone, saying thank you and sharing some cool stuff. But yeah, I'm having technical difficulties because I don't know if Facebook changed something, but I can no longer stream in her sale group right now. So I have to go share. Let me go share the link because I mean, it's her sale. It's honor of that. Um, sorry. There, I think I did it. See, boom. I hope everyone's doing well. Hope that you're enjoying your weekend. It just seems to go by so fast nowadays, just super fast. We're going to be working with my Metamorphosis and Thorn oracles. So we'll have fun. Good morning, Diane. Good to see you. But yeah, we're going to have fun. We're going to enjoy. And if you know anyone who wants to participate or may be interested in this, feel free to invite them. Share the link with them and say, hey, let's participate. So this is the week ahead for December 18th all the way through the 24th. And this is just collective energy. It's not anything specific. You can always book a reading with me if you'd like something specific, but this is taking into account the collective vibration and basically what's going on and how we can navigate it, how we can make the most out of the week. It just gives us this opportunity to really explore things in a better way. So when something comes up, if something should come up, then we are prepared for it, right? So yeah, well, hello, Angie. Good to see you. Good to see your name up here. I hope all is well. So just like normal, y'all, take some time to ground and center. Take some time to focus on your breathing. Take some time to tune in with yourself. Focus on your present moment. Tune in to your heartbeat. Allow yourself to just, check your vibe. Check your energy. Where are you currently? How do you feel? Hello, Dragon Dancer. Welcome. How do you feel right now? And you don't have to lie. Just be honest. I'm having a moment, right? So whatever it is, just be in that moment and call in your spirits, your guides, your gods, your allies, your ancestors. Call in all the good stuff for your highest and best. Call that energy in, that vibration in, and allow it to impress upon you, allow it to motivate you, to inspire you, and to help you as we navigate this co-creative process. And like always, feel free to be as interactive as you'd like. I love when we talk because it just having a conversation is so much fun, but I also understand privacy. So if you don't want to engage, you don't want to talk, take notes. Okay. Please don't feel like you have to engage. Take notes, and that's cool too. So do what is best for you. Well, hello, Angela. It's been a while. Yes. I'm doing well. Yeah. All right, so let's shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Okay, we'll pull five. Well, we'll probably pull more than five cards. So let's see. Let us see. Shuffle, shuffle. When you're ready, go ahead and choose one or two numbers that pop into your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. One or two numbers that pop into your head. You can comment them or write them down. It is your preference. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. One or two numbers that pop into your head, and know that all five cards are a part of our reading. All five cards are a part of the experience, but one or two cards that you choose are focal pieces. So it just helps you take a collective reading and make it a little more personal, stating that, okay, these two cards that I choose are going to be a little more dominant for my week ahead than the other cards. The other cards are supporting characters, right? So, well, hello, Mona. Good to see you. Well, hello, Mona Lee. Oh, my goodness. So happy to see everybody. All right. I can't stop shuffling. So let's see. We'll do 1, and we have a 2, and we have a 3, a 4, a 5. We'll probably pull more cards just because I want to use my Thorn Oracle as well. But yeah, 1 or 2 numbers, 1 through 5. Go ahead and choose. I'll use a Thorn Oracle for like clarifiers, I guess. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, 1 or 2 numbers. Go ahead and comment your choices, or write down, take notes. Again, like I said, you don't have to participate publicly if you don't want to. So the first card that pops up for the week of, right, 18th to 24th is East and Refreshing. East and Refreshing. So with East, we initiate the week for this refreshing vibration, refreshing energy. There's bringer of rain, there's clouds, future, grounded, salvation, communication. So East energy is about communication. There's this groundedness, and we recognize, especially this week, it may be a little more of a challenge because, bringer of rain. Oh, some people love rain, some people don't, but we understand that when rain comes, that it kind of washes away, right? It washes like stagnant energy away, correct? And so it makes me think like, okay, this is a really good week to start contemplating our future, start contemplating what we would like to participate in, start really taking note of what we would like to initiate. It's the energy to make these things happen is coming, right? It's coming through. And so we are being given a heads up right now to say, like, hey, just giving you a heads up. The energy to create changes, right? In honor of your future, it's entering your space. And a lot of times when those changes come, right? It's friction oriented, and so it's like a little rough. It's a little like, oh wow, I don't really want to experience this, I really don't want to do this. But when we do, and when we get through it, it's like, oh wow, I've learned so much, I've grown so much, and this actually puts me in a position where I wanted to be. Does that make sense? Yeah, I love the rain. Sometimes, most times, yeah, I like the rain. uh so with East initiating, that's what we have. What do you think? How does it make you feel? Um, and it really is as well, because we have that communication part of this card coming through. We understand that the only way we are going to bring changes into our reality, in our world, the only way we are going to actually take part and make these things happen, then um, we have to be very clear on what it is that we actually want out of our lives. So it is like, oh, this is refreshing, but I understand that I also have to have conversations. This has been coming up a lot lately, where we need to communicate, whether it be with our world, with our peoples, with ourselves, with our spirits, but we need to communicate clearly, like, what we want. In order for things to change, we have to speak up, we have to utilize our voice. In order for things to change, we have to find that voice and use it to our advantage. It's ours, right? uh Fair, absolutely fair. Rain is cleansing, absolutely, yes. So what do we need to cleanse in our lives? That's what's coming up. What do we need to cleanse? And that cleansing, it's like things won't change if we don't speak about it. It's like we can't internalize all of these things and expect things to change, expect things to shift. So I feel like there could be a possible like opportunity this week for us to speak up. So just write this down, like, where do I need to speak up in my life right now? What needs to be said right now? What am I maybe apprehensive of saying? Where is that fear there? I know that I need to have a conversation somewhere. I need to communicate with something. What needs to be expressed? Yeah. So let's pull a little clarifier with the Thorn Oracle. Oh my gosh, it's monkshood. Misanthropy, Aconite Wolfsbane, time to reduce your involvement with fiery situations, caution, numbing, transformation, the hunt, unpleasant, unpleasant consequences, and a warning. So, that's a little heavy, isn't it? So we know initiating this week, we have this ability to bring in these opportunities where rain will come in and cleanse, but it's not necessarily going to feel that great because we are going to be put in a situation where we may have to have like those harder conversations where this is an example. Okay, let's say we've been hanging out with a select group of friends and we're just having fun, but we realize that we want something different. Okay, we want something different and they're just about partying, which is, there's nothing wrong with partying, but they're about partying and living the life of the having all those parties and doing all those things, whatever it may be. But that's what they're doing, and that's cool. But I decided I want something differently. Yeah, I want differently. And so it's having these unpleasant conversations. I thought you were my friend, blah 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 blah. It's like I am. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, but I don't want to party anymore. I'm actually, I want to do this over here, and I'm trying to do something differently. We don't say we're growing up because everyone has their place, and their part to play. And if that's what they want, that's what they want. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's reducing our involvement with these fiery situations. I was like, you know what? I feel like this are our partying, together. The more we do it, like, and it's on a weekly basis and sometimes more than once a week now. I feel like it's leading to a space I don't want to participate in. Does that make sense? And so in this situation, it's like, okay, I appreciate y'all. I enjoy y'all and I would love to hang out with y'all, but I need to figure out other things. I want to participate in other things. And so there is that transformation that happens where we speak up, we use our voice to communicate clearly, and it might be uncomfortable, but we also reduce our involvement in situations that are heavy. And then later on down the road, we find out, oh, that same group of friends, some, really intense, 1111, yes, it's here too. Um, something blew up, right, in that friend group that we negated because we listen to our heart, we listen to our soul. Does that make sense? Well, hello, Jennifer. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. So let's just get more information. And so that's card one. Card two is Gemini. No more talking, y'all. Gemini is a talker, a little impersonal, and I think I love that about Gemini energy because we say impersonal, but I don't say impersonal to be a negative thing. I say impersonal to be a very actually a positive thing when we recognize, like, you know what, it's not, I'm not here to hurt your feelings. This is just what I'm going through. This is what I feel, and this week I want people to recognize that it's not a personal me choosing something different for myself is not personal to you, right? And I think that's important to express whenever we're having conversations with people. It's like, just because they choose something different doesn't mean that I look at you differently, that I feel like you should choose what I want. No, you're fine with who you are and what you are and what you choose. I'm not trying to tell you that you're wrong for your choices. I am choosing for me something different. So there is that impersonal information there. With Gemini, card two, logical emphasis on immediate environment. And so we recognize this week it really is going to be exploring our our immediate environment. So maybe our home life or our work life, because our work life tends to be our immediate environment as well. But things that are in our immediate atmosphere, right? Does that make sense? So what does that say to you? How does that make you feel? Let's see. And the card that enhances this is Archangel Shamuel, one who seeks God, healing, and work within relationships. Y'all, this is like all about the relationships, isn't it? compassion, forgiveness, spiritual growth, peace, and comfort. And so we have this understanding this week so far. It is about clarity, it is about communication, and it is about maybe being clear where my toxic behaviors, my toxic traits for myself are being flagged up. Like, okay, this is what I've been participating in, and this is what I need to step away from. Yeah. I'm grateful that you caught this. You caught this live too. Yes. Yeah. I hate that you're struggling, but also I feel, and I don't mean to glorify the struggle because let's just not do that. But I feel like when we struggle, like we're on that verge of that transformation. So I try to have like this hope, like, okay, I'm in it. I feel it. It's kind of annoying, but I understand that this is helping me to perfect my voice or to perfect myself to get to a better spot that I need to be in. So let's use that, right? Let's use this struggle to our advantage. We're not going to just struggle to struggle. Let's use it to our advantage. Um, well, hello, hello. Yeah. Okay. So it is a time of what should I say here? How do I put this? With Gemini and Archangel Shemuel, this is a time of healing and work within our relationship. So we recognize, like, okay, maybe this is a time of connecting again or reconnecting. And sometimes when we reconnect, it's not to be there forever, it's just to express certain things. It's there to say what we need to say and just know that we can actually be in the same space and not kill each other. Yeah. Sometimes that's all the that we need in that space. So there is a moment this week where we need to be a little more compassionate towards ourselves because we're dealing with like harder relationship things. And when I say relationship, please don't think it's just people. Okay, it could be relationships to my body, my relationship to my spirit, my relationship to food, my relationship to whatever. Maybe I'm addicted to something, and just because addiction doesn't mean, oh, I'm addicted to drugs. We can be addicted to a lot of things, right? um it's time to explore our relationships with these things, the things that are preventing us from actually moving forward, and the things that need to be discussed so we can actually get a better understanding of and move forward in a way that is best for us. Does that make sense? So card three Card three is the Deviant. Card three is the Deviant, Forsaken. A lot of things get forsaken because they're misunderstood. The Deviant, strange magic. Challenge the flow. A voice for those who cannot speak. I want you to think about that for a second. What is that? What really, honestly, what does that say to you? Like in your heart of heart, what's like the first thing that pops up? The Deviant, Forsaken, strange magic, challenge the flow, a voice for those who cannot speak. What comes up for you? And if you feel comfortable, please share. There's no right or wrong answers here. There's conversations that we're having, and that's important. So, um, a voice for those who cannot speak. Taking responsibility for my own words and actions, not blindly reacting anymore, and understanding consequences. Yeah. Oh my god, I love that picture. That's hilarious. Yes, yeah. And I think when we have more understanding of who we are, it doesn't always free us from, boom, reacting. But when we understand what we want out of life, it's you definitely are a dragon dancer, strange magic for sure. It helps us to see things differently, like, oh, when situations out of our current control like flare up and we're like, oh my god, I could just like put my hoops down and go for the throat in this situation. But I recognize, like, no, that's not going to help anyone. That's not going to help me. That's not going to help anyone. So I just, I'm responsible for my energy, for what I participate in. And so I'm going to step back a little. I'm going to see how it plays out. I'll offer my thoughts if it's wanted, and I'm not going to get involved if I don't need to. because it's not helping to anybody. But yeah, challenge the flow. What do you think of that? How does that make you feel? A voice for those who cannot speak. This has very layered, how do I put it? This has very layered meanings because at times this can represent like anyone who has children or anyone who has children around them, whether you're like a teacher or an auntie or uncle or person, whatever, you have like younger, like impressionable energy around you. A voice for those who cannot speak. Sometimes it's the dead. But sometimes there are peoples in our situations who want to speak up, but they don't have access to their voice yet. They don't know how. And so we have to lead by example at times. And that means stepping it up and speaking like, oh, hey, this isn't right. Or, oh, hey, let me be clear. Let me pave the way by being comfortable and confident in who I am and building healthy relationships and also weeding out and letting go of the toxic relationships that no longer serve me. Let me be an example showing that, you know what? I am not going to tolerate this pain or this trauma. So when it occurs, then I will speak up. We will have these conversations, and we will decide. I will decide how I carry this relationship if I do any further. Does that make sense? Um, mm-hmm. Yeah. And we can pick up on that. It's like, oh, there's something going on here, and there's something going on here, and they don't really know how to speak on this, how to articulate this conversation that needs to happen. And so let me be the one to do so. And I think that at the core of the week, there is this energy where what am I participating in blindly? Like, what do I just do because everyone around me is doing? Or what do I think because everyone around me thinks the same thing? What am I believing? What are my programs that are really based on just because it's how it's always been done? Does that make sense? Let me explore that because it's a week of challenging the flow and a week of communication, a week of, you know, reassessing relationships. My relationships to my beliefs, my relationships to my programming, my relationships to my words. Let me see about that. It's kind of like, let's see, it's kind of like when you grow up in a household that use negative slurs. I mean, I guess I should say slurs because I don't think any slurs like positive. Um, let's say grew up in a household that's hateful to the LGBTQIA plus community, and they use words that are hurtful. But in that household, there's someone who is a part of that community, and it really hurts them to their core. But luckily in that household they don't want to hurt the person they love, right? That's just what they've grown up with. That's what they've been taught by those who came before them, right? And then the people around them. And when they recognize this is like ideal, right? This is ideal. It doesn't happen. It does not happen all the time, unfortunately. But when they recognize, like, oh, they are hurting their loved one, they do their best to learn better. Then they see around them, the people around them are supporting the old patterns, the hurtful, the hateful, the traumatic patterns. And so they speak up. They say this is not okay, and this is why. And then they have the decision to make. Do we walk away from these people, this friend group, these relationships, to create a healthier environment for our loved one, right? Or do we participate in it and keep the trauma going? Well, certain people will start shifting their behavior, and they're like, well, we want to learn better too. And certain people are like, you're just being sensitive and you're stupid, and that's wrong, yada yada yada. And they have that option, and the family, the household decides, no, I'm not going to participate in that because what is most important is love. What is most important is that we educate ourselves. We are no longer ignorant. And they do that. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Challenge the flow. That's just an example of what kind of needs to be explored this week within our own households, within our own space, in our own lives. Let me get a little sip of water. But let me know if I'm making sense. But, with the deviant and forsaken, it is challenge the flow. I can no longer participate blindly. I should not participate blindly. I need to speak up where I can. I need to see what I need to speak up on when it happens, right? I need to know myself. Because it makes all the difference. And the card that enhances this is green, the color green, development. To restore continued growth. There's a lot of growth in this week. Abundance, mother nature, intuition, psychic vampire, friendship. This situation requires you to get movement flowing, discernment. What am I resisting? What am I resisting? My autistic son is almost 16, and his advocacy for LGBTQ is absolutely amazing. He told me how he now identifies as pansexual. We are so open about speaking your truth and try to avoid negative comments, but speak how we feel. We are very compassionate, but we'll, yes, I love that. Absolutely. And I think that at times we have to have this understanding, depending on who we're talking about, especially if they're, older generation or around other people. Yeah. Who speak a certain way. And you can disagree with me all you want. Absolutely fine. Because sometimes I'll disagree with myself. But I feel like we have to have some sort of like compassion, understanding, and forgiveness to a certain extent, because it takes time to learn how to speak better, and it's not even speaking better. It takes time to learn how to grow and how to use, proper terminology, and how to connect with people differently, especially if we're deeply rooted in older things. You know what I mean? And so it just takes time. So as if we can be a little more understanding and forgiving, like, no, that's not appropriate. We're good. This is how we discuss things, right? I think a lot more growth happens. We are always absolutely always learning. And I know that I've said, problematic things, not understanding innately that they were problematic, right? I think we all have. And then when we recognize, like, oh, that's cringy. Like, why did I say that? Like, at that time, I didn't think that. I didn't. That's not what I meant. I didn't mean it to be cringy. But I look back, I'm like, oh no, not good. But I learn from it. I grow from it. You do better. I like the flow of the cards as well. So the core of this with green and development, we understand we're actually being given some really cool opportunities this week to perfect our relationships. And I also, there's psychic vampire associated with green. Um, what is stagnant in my life? What is draining my life? What energy is draining my current situation? Um, I think we're gonna be given like massive clues as to what needs to be let go of and what we need to actually start walking towards. Like, okay, what is draining me? What is draining my situation? What is preventing me from moving forward? What is taking too much of my time that's not really benefiting me? Um, Let me explore that, and let me recognize it, and then let me come up with a solution that is going to fit with what I want, what I desire. Yeah. What am I resisting? What's the first thing that pops into your head? Don't even think about it. The first thing that pops into your head, bam, what am I resisting? What are you resisting? Write it down or comment, whatever you prefer. What are you resisting? That's something to explore. Excuse me. So midsummer, card 4, midsummer potency. Midsummer potency. Ward off evil. Ward off evil. Joy and celebration. longest day and shortest night. What does midsummer express to you? How does it feel? So midsummer is like, ooh, let's celebrate, let's have joy. And they think that after all of like the first three cards, right? It's like, oh my gosh, all this heaviness, all of these conversations, we have to talk. We have to communicate clearly. Why do we have to get to the core of the issue? What am I resisting? All this stagnant energy. I recognize I need to usher in some other like exciting, adventurous, like happy energy, positive energy that I love, that I enjoy to help things start moving. I can I can be clear as to what is going on or what the problem is in my week. I can be clear in the relationships that need some sort of like pruning, um, but we don't get anywhere by constantly pruning. We have to actually start living. We have to, start, focusing on joy, like focus on what brings you happiness and what brings you excitement and what you love. And as you focus on what you love and as you focus on the joy that you want to usher in, then that does ward off evil, because as you become happy, that sort of like acts as this wonderful shield to other things that would take that away from you. Yeah. So, midsummer, what does that say to you? How does that make you feel? What pops up for you? Midsummer, potency, power. And the Archangel Michael enhances this card. Who is like God? Just, faith, strength, courage, truth, psychic skill. The extraction of good and evil, which is subjective, because what you find good, I may not, you know? Protection. Oh, wonderful. Yes, I love that. Warmth, strength, yeah. And then with Archangel Michael, to enhance this, it is you are strong. You are a strong individual. You have that backing you. Don't ever doubt your strength. You are courageous and you are strong, and don't let anyone take that away from you. And recognize that nobody can take that away from you. You can give it away, but that's yours to give and yours to take back. And so if you feel like someone has taken your strength, take it back. I no longer give you access to that. I no longer allow you to have that. That is mine. Take it back. Discernment, yeah, absolutely. And I think that with all of these so far, it really is this understanding that we do have to we do have to release certain things that are not healthy for us. Like this week, we do have to explore that. Like, what do I have to stop doing that is not healthy for me? What do I have to limit exposure to? Who do I have to like, distance myself from? What beliefs, what programs? But it's also this, if we want to have fun, then I think it's also saying explore something spiritually that excites you. There's all of these like heavy conversations going on this week, or all of these like intensities that may be happening or have the potential to happen. And it's important for us to sort of interject some fun here. It is important for us to interject some excitement here. And so let's do some psychic exercises. Let's do some, let's have a little seance. Let's do something that helps our skill sets, but also is fun to us. So what can we do? Let's get together with a little group of people, and do something fun. What does that look like for you? Because we can't just address all the heaviness without doing fun things. We need to allow for that healthy balance. Release, reflect, but refresh and take advantage of the experience and grow. Yes, I love it. So just think about that. Let's see. Card 5, it also it ends the week. Is Aries. Aries, the trailblazer, the warrior, warlike and active, initiating, aggressive. Aries can be aggressive. Aries is fascinating to me. There's like this burst of energy, but with Aries energy, It's like this burst of doing, this burst of action oriented, but it's not the energy that sort of like sustains and maintains through and gets you through. It's like the initial like push before you have to do the rest of the work. You know what I'm saying? um Me too. So we recognize like, okay, this week is kind of like that. um this week, oh my gosh, this week is kind of like, we recognize like this is the sort of initiation, this is starting something, and we don't have to have it all figured out, especially with Aries. It's like, oh, at the end of it we realize like, oh, this is kind of like tidying up, cleaning things up, seeing what needs to be done, making a list, assessing our situation. And then we recognize at the end of it, it's like, okay, I have this burst of energy now to follow through. But I recognize that this opens another door to explore. This will lead to figuring out what we need to be doing more later on. So this is just helping us to see what's going on in our life right now, take account for what we need to limit, what we need to release and let go of, and what we'd like to do as well to invite fun and joy in, and where we need to speak up, how we need to utilize our voice. um yes, the ending leading way to the beginning, absolutely. So it's all of these things. Let's see what enhances Aries. That's going to be interesting to me. So stupid. Violet enhances Aries. Violet and choices. Violet is choices. The key to your question is a blend of mundane and spiritual. So we understand that with Aries, like this burst of energy, what we need to be assertive or aggressive on, is we have to take action, not just in the mundane, okay, not just the physical stuff, but we have to actually incorporate the spiritual as well. So it is like, okay, I need to get an understanding of my physical world, but I also need to invite my spiritual world and blend the two. It's kind of like casting. When you're casting for something, you cast a spell, right? It's very spiritually active, but you also follow through, or even beforehand, you're following through with the mundane. So if I'm like, I want to get a new job, I'm obviously going out and looking for jobs, right? I'm looking and I'm seeing like what really fits for me, and I'm looking for, the pay that I want, all that stuff. I'm looking at the physical stuff, and then I'm taking action, going and putting in the resumes or filling out the online shit, whatever it is. I'm doing that, but then I'm like, you know what? Hello, witch. Cast. I got the spell. I'm gonna cast a spell to get a job that I want, yada yada yada. So then I do the spiritual stuff. And then I still continue to do the mundane stuff. And guess what? Got it. I got the job, yo. That's how it works. But another thing here, Aries with Violet, what am I running from? Detachment, self-righteousness. So two things that do stand out to me. What am I resisting? What am I running from? Very interesting. Because when we challenge the flow, it's like, oh, what am I resisting? What am I resisting here in this week? What do I not? I know I need to speak up. I know I need to do differently. I know I need to start detaching from certain experiences, but I'm resisting it. And why? Why am I resisting? And what is it that I am resisting? And then we get to the end of it, and it's like, oh, this burst of energy to do something new. But what am I running from? This was expressed in a reading recently, which I loved, and I'm not sharing personal details, so it's fine. But it's a lesson and something that I really loved, and I think that we can all benefit from. It's not like I'm not running away from anything. So it's like I'm trying to choose a better life. So I'm running towards a better life. It's like I'm choosing to meet this head on, and I choose a better life. I'm walking towards better choices. My choices are in alignment with, the thing. So I don't choose things because I'm trying to escape something. Does that make sense? That's what I think that is important here. I don't choose these things because I'm thinking about getting away from these other things. That's just running, right? Away, escaping, trying to not deal with. I am choosing these things because I'm walking towards something better. Not because I want to get away from something, but because I want to get to something because I want differently. I think it's so important to understand that because when we choose and choose and choose based on running away or escaping, we always have that thing right on our tail. We always have that thing, in our minds. And so it's like very temporary. So, what am I running from? That's something that we have to ask ourselves. All in all, what do you think? What do you make of this week? What do you think? What do you feel? There is a really great flow to the cards this week, and I want us to really be aware that it's time for us to really think about and meditate with and process our current life. You know, what am I doing now that may be preventing me from reaching my goals or reaching the lifestyle that I want for myself? What is not healthy for me right now? Um, I understand that we are being given opportunities for change. That change is up to me. Let me apply myself this week. Let me have compassion as I focus on being better and growing. Let me understand that this week is really also about communication. I need to be clear on my stance in life. I need to be clear on what I stand beside, who I am, what I represent. I need to communicate that with, you know, in an efficient manner. I need to be very aware of what is being communicated around me because the company that I keep is a part of my creation. And so if they are speaking in a way that is not where I'm headed, I must address that for myself. I also need to learn to challenge the flow and understand that there may be something that is draining me currently. What is currently draining me? Is it a situation? Is it an act? Is it a person? People's? What's currently draining me? What's depleting me of my resources that I need for something better? Let me look at that this week. And let me not get too caught up in the heaviness. Let me not get too caught up in the heaviness and let me do something fun. Do something fun, something exciting that I love. And know that I do have to let go of certain things that may feel good but aren't good for me. Sometimes it's necessary, but if you want something for your future, you need to address that which is a burden. Yeah. Good question, good answer. With Aries, just go forward. Like Aries is so good at, yeah, leaving it behind in growth. I will move forward and be aware. Aries kind of like the fool in the tarot, ready to move forward, but so much behind an unknown future, but not afraid, just jumping in. Jump in, do it. Yeah. I can see that. Um, it's just like, let me go. And then you're like, oh shit, I'm here. I don't have what it takes to get to the next part, but here we got you here. Someone has to take over. And then what am I running from? Let me understand that I don't run away from anything in my life. I address it. I clearly express it, and I walk towards something different when I want differently. But yeah, this is what's coming up, this is what's coming up for the week ahead. What do you think? I like it. And it definitely gives us things to meditate on, questions to ask ourselves. And that's what this is about. I'm not here just to feed you, all the things to tell you exactly how your life is going to play out. I'm here to produce more questions. That's how I feel. This the divination sessions that I have here, like publicly, as well as when I do dailies for my patrons, they're here to ask questions. They're here to help us to grow, to meditate with, and to give us things to really think about, so we have that power to decide if we decide to change our lives or not. It's never about taking your power away. It's about empowering you to create better, whatever that means for you. Okay, let's see. Maybe resisting the changes that cannot be made, accepting and going forward. Could be. I like that. Great to focus, and I appreciate Mancy. I appreciate you. I love it. I love it. So yeah, just take some time to think about these things and know that this week is about key points. This week is about communication. It's also about understanding the people around us in our immediate environment, whether it be work or home. But let's just be aware of all of these things, and also be aware of where we would like to go, where we would like to move our life, what things are taking away from that and what things are supporting it. And it's time to limit exposure to things that are about to blow up, limit our exposure to very, very aggressive situations that are like depleting our resources, and learn to have a little more fun as we process the heaviness. And then know that this week also is this opportunity to step through a new door that we might be a little apprehensive about because we don't know all the details, but it could be an exciting adventure for us, um, to help get to a place we want to be. So be open to that. All right. So, with that being said, y'all, I really do appreciate each and every one of you being here. I appreciate conversing. I love the ability to converse with all of you. I really do. But yeah, thank you to Elisa of Elisa's Whole Kisses, who sponsored this video and made it public, to share. She has her sale going on. Oh my God, I can't talk, y'all. She has her sale, Crystal Adventure going on. And you can find that information in the link, in the description. If you enjoy what I do, if you want to tip your witch, tip your diviner, if you are able, you do not have to, but if you're able and you want to, you have the means to do so. There's several ways to do that, and feel free to do that. I also do daily videos. Like this every Sunday. I record a week ahead reading, and I also record a daily for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And we post throughout the week as well on my Patreon. So you can definitely check that out. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. I love what I do. I enjoy this time and space. Also, on my page, on my Facebook page, y'all, don't engage with all the damn spam. I cannot keep up with it. There are so many people, so many like bots, um, just saying, "Oh, hey, I've noticed you. PM me for your free reading," or "Oh, this person saved me. I got back with my ex." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, this is all just spam. Don't engage. And if you see it, I apologize. I try to block, ban, and all that stuff, but they post so fast. Those bots. Oh my gosh, ridiculous. But yeah. Don't engage there because it's just not worth it. But if you see it, don't message them either. Don't message them either. So again, thank you, and I hopefully will talk to you soon. All right, take care. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I look forward to hearing about your week ahead. Ciao.